Meanwhile, this President Biden now saying he would consider personal sanctions against Vladimir Putin if Russia invades Ukraine. Meanwhile, the Russian leader placing blame on the U.S. and other allies for what he describes as escalating tensions. He also denies he plans to invade. Joining us now to discuss is Republican Congressman from Texas, Brian Babin. Congressman, welcome back. The president, again, as James was pointing out, we saw him visiting a small business yesterday around D.C. area. He did take a few questions from reporters. Here's what he had to say about Russia and Ukraine. Take a listen.
What would lead to that is what's going to happen, what Putin does or doesn't do. And I may be moving some of those troops in the nearer term just because it takes time.
Appears as though he will wait to see what Putin decides to do. Should President Biden and our NATO allies take more proactive steps to stop a Russian invasion before Putin acts?
Well, you took the word right out of my mouth. There's just a lack of proactivity with President Biden. And quite frankly, his rhetoric is not instilling any confidence in our allies. And on the contrary, the rhetoric, I believe, is sowing the seeds of panic, not only in the Ukraine, but in the markets around the world. I can just tell you, elections have consequences, Emma. And I'm not one to cry over spilt milk, but I'll tell you, if Donald Trump was still in office, this would not be happening. There was respect. There was a little bit of an unknown. They know that this guy in the White House today has said some things that, minor incursion. If they do this, instead of getting out in front of the problem, he has created more uncertainty, I think, and put our allies more at risk. And I can tell you the Taiwanese are paying great attention to this as well. So leadership means everything. And as the ancient Greeks said, if you want peace, you must prepare for war. And I can tell you our withdrawal from Afghanistan has left our allies very, very nervous. And our adversaries have become very more emboldened.
Well, the fact that you mentioned Afghanistan, there are some similarities that we're taking note of. Again, this advice to have these families of staff members at the Ukrainian embassy evacuate. We've also seen reports of Russia conducting new military exercises right along the border. And then again, this idea that our plan of diplomacy appears to have stalled. The Ukrainians are saying we want people who remain to be calm at this point. But what really needs to be done to get the situation under control?
Well, I think that what must be done now is kind of uncertain because of the seeds of uncertainty that were sown by this Biden administration rhetoric and lack of getting out ahead and showing weakness. Instead of peace, have it through strength, we show weakness, which absolutely, emboldens dictators. Again, I will say this, the ancient Greeks knew it. If you want peace, you must prepare for war. And your adversaries must, be aware of the fact that, hey, something really bad could happen to us if we make an aggressive move against the United States interests or against their allies. And quite frankly, it's going the other way. And so I would advise the president to start talking a little bit more turkey. I think he needs to have a little more forcefulness. You can't just go to a local business and say, hey, we're going to do this or that if so and so. We have to make sure that our adversaries know full well that everything's on the table.
Are sanctions included?
Absolutely, absolutely. But look what's happened, Emma. From this Biden administration, he's waived Nord Stream 2 sanctions on the Nord Stream pipeline after shutting down the Keystone pipeline in the United States. He's caved in to Russia on the restarting the New START treaty for 5 years. He gave up all the leverage that was built up by the Trump administration to limit Russia's nuclear forces. We failed to respond to the Colonial Pipeline attack. Biden held back $200 million in military aid to the Ukraine just last month.
Yeah.
And then he says we have to wait to see what happens before we impose these sanctions. So it looks like leadership is absolutely lacking here.
Well, you talk about
incompetence.
You talk about leadership, and I have to get your take on this. We heard yesterday that the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, plans to run for re-election once her term's up. Care to comment on that?
Well, it certainly is a little bit changed turn of events from what she has told her own conference, the Democrat Party themselves, her membership. So, but it doesn't surprise me. She is. I think that the lady needs to gracefully bow out, and but obviously she's got other things in mind. But I'll tell you, there's going to be a red wave sweep over this country this coming November. And I think we're going to make sure that she is no longer the Speaker of the House of Representatives. We will have a brand new Speaker, and he'll be a Republican, guarantee you.
All right. We just got word that the 29th House Democrat will not be seeking re-election, so it will be fascinating to watch the midterms. Congressman Brian Babin, thank you so much.